Hello, my friends. Welcome to Keeping It Real. For those familiar with us, it's great to be back. For those that are not familiar with us, this is the lovely Jamie B, and I'm Danny B. And, you know, this show, dating back to 2013, we've had some runs, and then we've been on again, off again, and basically, why? Because of lack of production.
Yeah, we had a difficult time finding the right people.
We needed a steady guy, and we're happy to announce that we finally found somebody, Michael Klein.
Hi, Mike.
Of One by One podcast, more familiar with his work. He's worked with Joe Rogan, currently works with Joe Rogan, does his graphics, and more importantly, we love Joe Rogan, but we also love Joey Coco Diaz. Michael did the podcast. What'd you do, Mike? You can jump in on this. You did his podcast, right? You do his graphics, all that neat stuff. The Joint.
Made the Savage Dad album cover.
Yeah, so yeah, we have...
Fantastic.
Yeah, so Michael's in the background, and we feel like we're in good hands. And most of the times we've done Facebook Live, and, you know, again, when it's been on again, off again, and it's just great to be back. It's been, 16, 17 months, Jen?
Yeah, it has. It's been a long time, Danny.
A lot's transferred. And you still look lovely, though. It's been 17 months, and I got to say, you look a little bit younger than you did at 40. You're now 47. Keeping it real.
Yes.
We tell it the way it is.
Yes, and I'm almost all real.
Yeah, almost. You are real. Everything's real here, and... You know, that's what the show's about. What way? Hey, Mikey.
Except the hair color and... No.
It only took her 3 hours to get ready. And you know what? Again, this show is going to be everywhere. Most of the time, we just had it on Facebook Live for our friends, basically.
Yes.
They followed our journey. We talked about our kids, our life, the ups and downs, the way the world is. And it ain't gotten any better in the last 17, 18 months. I think the last podcast was September of 2022, and this past September, I had a little bit of a setback. I almost died, put it that way. I just a little bit over there. There's a room where I'm taking my little morning poop, and I just getting what? You don't poop? You don't poop in the morning?
I pulled an Elvis. Oh gosh. Almost.
No. It's just because I get a lot of gas after caffeine, you know, but you know, leading up to it, I wasn't feeling all that great. Getting these, I always thought it was just gas. And I'm like
got a lot of chest pain.
Yeah. And then I'm like, you know, I like to shit with the door open, so I don't know why. It's just the way.
Day one, I'm like, I should have seen that as a red flag, right? Like, who does that? Like,
I don't know what it is.
And I'm gonna shit in front of you. Like,
I'm not doing it if like when Michael's here, because he'd obviously see me, but. Yeah. I don't know. I got this. So I'm like, oh man. She goes, what? Already? You usually don't get gas till like 10 o'clock or something. I'm like, I don't know. This is
it was really early for him to have this happen.
Like about 6:15 in the morning. It was September 18th. I know it was like week 2 of the end. Dallas had just beat the Jets the night before, and the week before that, they beat the Giants. But after that, they done nothing but poop the bed. And that's another story. We'll discuss that later on. But needless to say, she's insisting, get to the doctors. Go to the doctors.
He's like, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. And I'm like, well, then you probably are. And you know what? Because I'm a hypochondriac.
Oh, no, you're not.
Borderline hypochondriac, right? So I Google everything about every health condition because I like diagnose myself like maybe 6 times a year of like something I'm dying from. So the one thing that people, you're like,
she's right. She's right, though, sometimes.
Okay, so the one thing people who have heart attacks always say is they felt like they were like being squeezed.
Yeah, it was like...
that their heart was being squeezed. So as soon as he said that, I was like, it's time to go. You're going to the hospital now.
It was a rainy day, and we went to the emergency room, which isn't far, but of course, it was Monday, traffic, going to work.
I'm weaving in and out. It's like, you're going to kill me before I get there.
And she's speeding. I'm like, now I'm getting a little bit... I think I'm going into panic mode, and I just remember getting there finally, and it, of course... We're almost there, and that one car just won't move. It's putting along, and I'm like, I almost like, but anyway, we finally get there. I walk into the place. I go, I'm having a heart attack. And she's like out, and so next thing you know, I'm on a gurney. They're doing my vitals, and she gets in there, and next thing I know, they're like the EKG, and the nurse says, you know what, you're fine. So they start doing blood work, and that's when we...
They discovered because like his EKG and everything was normal, right? So
I wanted to get to the gym.
You're having a panic attack. Yeah. He's telling them, all right, can I go? I want to go to the gym. I feel great now, Like, so I had a panic attack.
That's why I said it was gas, like I said, right? It was
So his enzymes and his heart came back.
Break it down, Dr. Googles.
And Dr. Googles here.
Dr. Giggles.
So
Dr. Giggles.
Right, exactly. So they're like, no, you have these enzymes, and it only comes from your heart. Like, you're probably having a heart attack. So they monitor these levels each, like every hour or something. Every 2 hours, and then like they see if it goes up from there. And his went from like 35 to like
it started
140 or something. It
kept going. It kept going up.
It kept going up. So he's still not believing it. They had these, it's so difficult. Through this all, I feel so bad for nurses. Because I'd be just like, really? Then die. If you don't want me to help you, then I would not be a good nurse.
I had the phone, I'm working.
Fighting them on everything.
I know, because it was Monday morning, I get Monday Night Football, so I'm like thinking work, get to the gym, do my routine. And, I just wanted to get out of there, especially when a nurse is like, so the whole podcast will probably be about this heart attack, and that's not but it's so like funny, but not funny.
So
and
it wasn't gas.
It was not gas, but the nurse and now the doctors, I'm meeting every doctor.
I'm telling you, you're having a heart
everybody's
attack.
like, guys are playing with my toes, and now I'm getting like, I got
who he finally listened to? The EMTs that were transporting him
there's
from
a
one
lead
place
up,
to
but
another
needless to say, so I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit, so... The blood
work. No, the nurse. You gotta tell them the nurse.
I was going to do that.
Was telling him, I don't know why he's sending you, because you're not having a heart attack. I've seen this all the time. So you're fine. So then we're like, wait, are they trying to trick him?
But you didn't even know. You missed a lot of the details. Like, I agreed to stay there for a few hours, maybe to 5 o'clock, do a stress test. That's it. I said, but Jamie, I'm going to need my vape. I can't walk. I can't just. So I'm walking around like she finally gets there, like, because I don't believe it. So I'm walking around. I got no shirt on with the vital things, pushing a little IV, whatever they had me on, and just going in the bathroom. I kept going back. But it really was like there was more and more people. And next thing you know, you got to get out to the emergency room. And the nurse is like, no,
he's at the hospital having a heart attack and vaping in the bathroom.
No, it was the emergency room. It wasn't the hospital.
I'm like, really?
I did it at the hospital later on.
Calming for him.
So needless to say,
helped him.
The nurse says, I don't know why he does this. He does this all the time. I go, what, do they just want money? She goes, so the EMTs come and I go, guys, I'm like, this one says this, the doctor says this. He goes, blood, we see this all the time. Get on the freaking gurney. You're having a heart attack here. Right?
So
and I go, okay. So I get there. I'm like, I can't believe this shit's happening. I'm feeling if I had my little pen in my pocket, just in case. And
your ambulance ride.
So I know. So now I'm in the I'm in the ambulance, right? And it's a rainy day. You don't know the area. Some dude 22. It's the hospital's not Muhlenberg down the road, so it's raining. And these guys are cool, but they're playing John Denver music, Rocky Mountain High, and I'm like sitting there like, this is a motherfucker. I'm gonna be dying to John Denver music. And so we get to the and it must be serious because the actual surgeon's waiting for me in the room. Like, it was like they took me.
The cardiologist is waiting for him when he comes in. So he's like, oh my God.
This is real.
I'm not even with him. I'm like, I have to drive over.
Yeah. So I realized that it's real. And he's a character right out of an Abbott and Costello movie. Honestly, one of those 19. He's from Brooklyn or somewhere, the Bronx. And he's just old school. He's yelling at the nurses, get your head out of your ass. I don't care about your whatever the.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy? That thing, that word, whatever the hell they call it. Politics, there you go, in the hospitals, in the bills, in it. So needless to say, they get me all ready. He goes, yeah, you're going to need an emergency stint here. It looks like you have 70% blockage, more than likely to widowmaker. I'm like, and then the nurse is like, they get me prepped. She goes, okay, hon, we'll see you on the other side. I'm like, the other side? I go, and I look at the doctor, like, is it that bad? He goes, she needs to use her words better. So another gurney comes. They take me to the other side. The guy pushing me sounds like Darth Vader. It must have been 400-something pounds. I actually looked at it and go, you want me to push you, pal? You need a break or something? So I get in there and, usually they go through the groin, right? So now they go through the wrist. You wanted to jump in on this at any time? Is this my show today? But anyway.
Really? Because any other time I interrupt you, let me talk.
But anyway,
you go with
a procedure that normally would take 45 minutes took about 3 hours. And I'm coming out. They got me in the twilight.
So my mom is like, do you want me to come to the hospital?
Yeah, take over for a little bit. Let me have
honestly, I'm better off by myself, like in panic situations. I'm better by myself. So I was like, Mom, just, stay. If I need you, they said it'd be like 45 minutes, an hour. They did say if it goes longer, then that might not be good. So like an hour and a half goes by. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And I'm like, should I call my mom and get her in a panic with me? So, because we're really good at that. We panic together.
They're the best.
I learned from the best. They don't call me Little Linda for nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to call my mom yet. And then like 2 hours in, right? It was like 2 hours? Around 2 hours.
Well, it took about 3 hours total.
The doctor comes out,
No, it was
right?
about 2:45, give or take.
Yeah, and so the doctor comes out, and they said that, like, someone else would come out to tell me, right? The doctor comes out, and the first thing he goes, oh, boy. Oh, boy. I go, oh, boy.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
He's
I'm
done?
like,
You finished that?
he's like, no. Everything's okay. His just anatomy is so different than anyone else. So I'm like, well, we are talking about Danny B, so I get that. And I guess they had a really hard time going up through his veins.
Oh, it was awful.
Because typically the way our veins flow, his didn't. And so he had a really hard time. But he they don't put you all the way under.
Twilight,
but, like,
they call it.
Sedate you. And so, like,
Yeah.
what did you hear him saying?
I heard everything. I don't understand this. I got to get more practice on this machine.
The doctor's saying this.
And now you got to remember, there's a communication. There's a lot of people involved. You got a couple of doctors, their assistant, the nurse, of course. And then on the other side, you got the communication booth. That's like NASA. They're in it. I'm like, listen, I can see the monitor. You can see the tool in there. Keeps almost getting to where it needs, and it keeps falling. Like, I'm like,
Your eyes are open too?
yeah, I'm awake.
like,
And now
like,
I'm wearing off.
sedated a
And then
little.
I'm hearing a guy, gosh, I don't know what the hell at this point. It's getting late in the day. I'm like, we can finish this tomorrow if you have to. And then they juiced me up again because they knew I was getting a
Because
little.
you talk about someone's heart and their main artery. That's
I
what they're
know.
going
I
after,
start
is the main
tearing up. I'm
artery.
thinking this is the end.
Something goes wrong, like, you're dead.
This is the end. And needless to say, I hear like, okay, we got it. I'm like, oh my God. So I had to pee the whole time. Literally, before they even got me in there.
This is where it gets bad.
I had to pee
really
and
bad.
I start sitting up like a zombie, and they're like, no, you got to relax because my arm was so bad. They messed it up, and they worried about hemorrhaging and all types of clotting. It was bad, really bad.
Hematoma.
There you go, Dr. Google. And so I got to pee, and they're like, okay, you can pee. They gave me that thing, that plastic thing. I'm like, I can't do it. They go pee. I'm like, I'm not peeing laying down. Help me get
got all these people around him.
Yeah, help me get the leg over at least, and I'll try it. And the rope thing they give you. I'm like, there's too many of them. I'm like, I go, the bathroom's literally right over there. And I try to get up, and the doctor kind of pushes me down, says, you can't move. And I get up again, and I just jumped up angry. I can say that. Get your effing hands off of me. I need to go pistol. I'm not dying, pissing myself. I'm sorry. I'm 61. I was 60 at the time. I was ready to turn 61, hoping to turn 61, which I did, obviously. So needless to say, I said, let me go pee. And after I'm done, then I'll do whatever the F you want, which I didn't. I just told them that. But anyway, they got me to the room. And you can
even back at the room, the nurses didn't want him to get
pee.
up. You have to stay
They were
still.
worried because they
And
messed
if
me up. They messed me up.
And if you go through the groin, somebody has to lay there for like hours without even moving at all.
I think they put
that's why they go
sandbags
through
on
like
there or
your something to like weigh you down to. So they're telling him like, and they're so nice. And they're like,
all right.
You can't go to the bathroom. Like, we'll come in and help you. And this, he's like, I'm not.
What are you gonna do? Shake
He
it?
was
I
so
said, if I need
feisty
shaking,
with
I
these
got my wife
nurses.
right there. I don't need you to shake it. And they're like looking over me, like, "Are you all right?" I'm like,
And I just told them, listen, he's not going to go. He's going to do what he's going to do. Like, you got to just let him go. Like, do yourself a favor. Just let him go. Like,
So,
I'll take responsibility of him. And actually, I wanted to stay the night, but they wouldn't let me because I was like, I'll help him. Because I know how difficult he is. Like, he is so difficult. Like, I was like, all right, if I'm a nurse, I'm telling these people, like, you just go because I don't care. Yeah.
It's not all that
I'm not
bad.
here to take care of you like that.
Has anybody, any of you people watching, I know you haven't, I hope you haven't, I hope it never happens to you, because it is quite frightening. You know, it's just overwhelming, especially when you don't feel like you're having a damn heart. I'm like, I'm okay. The worst part was dealing with my hand, even in the recovery mode. I'm like, I was literally back in the studio. That happened on Monday morning. And I was recording a show on a Thursday. So within 72 hours, I was out within 24 hours or less. When the next day I just wanted out of there, I took all my things off, the pluggy things, because They weren't even monitoring me. The machine, beep, beep. I'm like, am I dying? What the hell is going on? I'm like, I guess I'm alive.
Well, every little beep, you're like, what is that? Like, what's going on, you know? Yeah.
Like I'm on coke back in the 80s. But beep, beep. What is that? The man? So needless to say, they come in and try to give me Jello the next day. They see me in there with my civilians on. They go, I guess you want to get out of here.
Yeah,
so
you start ripping
they didn't
stuff
even
off.
They didn't even bring a wheelchair. They just said, can you walk? I walked around the lobby once and they go, you can go.
You gotta go. Yeah.
And they don't. I think it's like the post office. They got my face in the hospital there. If you see this guy,
beware.
I actually made a post after it. Now, actually, he was actually taking selfies, which he never ever does in the ambulance.
Because I wanted people to know, this can happen, bro.
Honestly, though, and that is like why we wanted to bring it up as well, because we're finishing up in February, which is Heart Health Month. You know, I don't know if you know that.
Well, we're recording. Yeah, we're recording. This is the last days of February. Yes.
The number one killer of I know, especially women, I think, is heart disease and stuff. So, but you got to know the warning signs, and a lot of times we just think it's gas or whatever.
I did.
And
honestly,
Danny, I'm telling you, he works out and he can jog, he can run without getting out of breath.
I can do the titty dance still.
Telling him, your pain
Literally
was here, and he's like, no,
dance.
it was here, and the doctor's like, no, it was here, and he's like, no, it was here. So everyone's different, and it is shocking because he's such in good shape that he had a heart attack.
Don't you listen? And again, the big thing is if. I don't know. The warning signs were there even leading up to it.
Yes.
The gas, I was I'd be sometimes I was like, Jesus. And she goes, what'd you eat? We'd always blame it on food. Yeah, what'd you eat?
Yeah.
But finally, I don't go to the doctors. I'm the most I am pretty difficult.
You very
But this day I said, you know what? I don't want, I just go. Go get it over with. And once the nurse, and it was funny, to see the nurse, and I tell this story often. I'm like, the nurse is she does this all the time. I go, does what? Tells people they're having a heart attack and they're not. I'm like, are you, what? I'm like, let me get out of here then. What the hell's going on here? Yeah. And to this day, I still can't even really realize that I'm on the medicines, which stink. They suck, actually. And they were over-medicating me in the beginning. I couldn't even, my heart rate.
They slowed his heart rate down because apparently he has a low heart rate anyway. It was so slow. He was
slurring.
He was it was bad. I was like, this is not, you got to get off of this. So he took him off of that, but you're still on he's on cholesterol medication, which his cholesterol within a few months, because he was actually so against medication.
Still am.
He still is, but I tell you what, when I look back on his numbers of what they were, actually they were starting to come down because last year
beet juice, a lot of beet juice. I'm telling you, beet juice that helps.
It was coming down on its own, but what he had is probably more or less due to genetics than anything else.
My grandpappy.
So what he was doing was helping, but it didn't help him all the way. So
I was working. I was getting better on my own, though.
3 months cut his numbers in half. When I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is pretty freaking amazing.
I feel good. The big thing is the medicine. It kind of gets you, especially the first month.
And you're not having any of those symptoms that you did prior to having the heart attack.
All right, so I listened. So
you were clogs and you needed to get unclogged.
Yeah. Well, the stint, I got a stint, and I feel good. The medicine's the hardest thing. And the thing I like about this crazy doctor, there's a thing I like about him. He goes, you don't have to be on this shit forever. Because the one cardiologist is like, nope.
But you're always going to find a doctor who's going to tell you what, you're going to go to who you want to go to, who tells you what you want to hear.
That's why I like
I like it when they're like, no, you were so bad off. No.
That's why I like Dr. Urbano, even though he's a little rough on me. He was one of those rough doctors, but he said, well, 9 months you're off of this stuff. And the other doctor.
Needless to say, though, let's move on.
The other doctor wanted me.
Skipped a beat.
Okay, yeah, here I am.
He dances and he parties down.
Oh no, I cut back. You don't know what's in there. This could be water. It's not
tea.
Though.
We're tea people now.
It could be whiskey. It's not. It could be burp.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, and that's what we try to do. And
what episode would this be?
This is season 11. If you go back to 2000, but we missed 16 months, so it's 10. And then we've done a lot of shows on and off. You know that. Again, we got Michael now, and it's going to be a whole different thing. We're going to have good guests.
I'm excited.
I hope to have Coco join us soon. Coco will be lovely to have you out there.
Show.
It'd be really nice to have you on. The kids are doing good. We have a 19-year-old turning 20. I just opened up a transport business for him. So I said, let me go out and get a truck. but I didn't know the insurance. My God. Hey. It was just one of those things. F that guy. I'm tired of you coming home working all day. And he worked 60 hours a week. And he looked at his
he's a hard worker.
He looked at his W-2 and he's like, I feel like a loser. I go,
make so much more.
I go, you ready, pal? You want that truck? He goes, let's do it. So like a good dad, I went out, started within 5 days, brand new truck, ready to go. Following Monday, I'd try to get DOT, MC numbers, and insurance. It's just like, so for about a month now, the van's been sitting in the driveway. It had 3 snowstorms on it. It's got about 10 miles
waiting
on it.
on all these numbers and insurance and all this stuff.
So worst case
case
scenario, we turn it into a camping van or whatever else. Anyway,
no,
so
he's got some jobs lined up.
Yeah, we got jobs. You got
we're
jobs.
We're moving on.
You
but if anyone in the Pennsylvania area
or California, no, we can't go to California.
Not yet. We're waiting on our NC.
One thing I refuse to do right now, he can drive in the state of Pennsylvania because he's only 19, and you know how it is when you're young, the insurance rates. To leave the state, it triples. But to get the proper insurance, it's like $50,000 a year. So a bafangul, I ain't doing that. And, we're just
anyone that steps. Like maybe their kid wants to get involved in that, like you have
just
to
be aware. There's a lot of
until like you're 21, 20, between
25
21 and 25,
actually,
really
25.
To get your, you have to be 21 to get your CLD to leave state.
You know what? This is what I have a problem with is that the kid's just trying to work and, And
there's a lot of hardworking young kids out there.
Yeah, but they make it hard, though. They make it hard because the insurance.
It does, and it's sad because there are, I know a lot of people always put out, these kids are, so spoiled and they don't work and this and that. But I see a lot of, even with our kids, a lot of younger kids are out there working. In the community that we live in, they do all the snow removal.
They did a shitty job, but they tried.
19, 20 years old. Yeah, but they're learning. They're learning their
something,
a trade or whatever. But they're out there working, wanting to do it. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, doing
They're working, and that's very important.
It's great because there are a lot of kids that are younger. Our Jace, a.k.a. Boo Boos.
Boy, he's a waiter. He's a waiter
at 14. Making money. This kid is wow.
Within 1 month, he's saved about $800. He's worked one day, turned into 2 days to 3 days. Just the other day, they had him on the phone.
He's banking at his age.
You know what?
And he has no bills. And we pay for everything for him. And it's all he's all cashing it. Or flowing
and he likes it. I'm just worried that he doesn't want to play baseball too. He likes the dead presidents. He's into that. But so the other day, you know how kids talk. He's like everything he asks. You don't understand what the kids say.
Well, Jace is a really Danny's mom used to be like that, especially if she didn't agree with something you were saying, she would never say yes, no. She'd go wow. She would be but Jace, our son, he does the same thing. And so when he's talking, a lot of times we're like, Jace, you want me to make you breakfast for school? Well, what is that? Yes or no? You're my kid, but I still don't know what you're saying. Do you want it or don't you say yes or say no? But then we're thinking, is he answering the phone and they're he's meow, meow.
I wanted to know how because we don't understand him. It's all body gestures.
I bet he speaks so clearly.
He's an A student though, and he's a hard worker, and he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
My other boy,
he's a good kid.
He's the hardest working, 60 hours a week, and that's why I say he's not making enough money. And I just tried to do the right thing.
And he's so motivated. This kid is not lazy. He's not sleeping all day on the video games.
How about your kids, Mike? Are they working, or are they still too young?
They're 3 and 6.
They're not working yet?
No.
At 3 and 6?
He's doing, we were just talking about
that's the problem. You got to start early, Mike.
He's
no
still
chores,
doing play dates and stuff. He's doing
I'm
all
only
that.
kidding. My kids didn't start, Jay started at 14. He got his working papers as soon as he turned 14.
And he initiated it. And this is what I respect about our kids. And because
what don't you like about them?
Well, they walk all over me, so I have not. And my kids could be the biggest loser, and I'd be like, he's the biggest loser. I'm so proud of him. No matter what, I'm always proud of my kids. But they are given a lot. They are not crazy spoiled, but they are spoiled. When they want something, they basically get it. Jace just got a $2,500 electric bike for his birthday that he's already that's not even what I wanted.
He broke it. It doesn't go fast enough.
He wants a dirt bike that goes fast. And I'm like, oh, you want to be roadkill? And he's like, yeah, basically. He wants to.
That's
why he's working to save up his money so that he can,
Yeah, but it ain't gonna happen. He's no way because he will kill himself.
He's a
that
daredevil.
one kid, he will definitely.
And this is like people make fun of me because I still call him Boo Boos, but I don't do Boo Boos like, oh, my little tiny baby Boo Boos. I call him that because he's gotten injured since like day one. You know, he's got stitches under here, broken nose, and it's funny because I always tell him, Jace, don't do that. There's a book called No David. No. To the kids.
Get the book.
No David. Your kids will like it. And we're like, that's Jace. No, Jace. Everything he's ever done is always like getting hurt, daredevil.
Chin stitches out of young
as he got older, I'd always say, like, if you do that, like, you're going to get hurt. And like, am I going to come and cuddle you? Am I going to be like, oh my God, my Jace, he got hurt. I'm like, no, the first thing I'm going to tell you is I told you so. And then I'll feel bad for you. But my first thing is always going to be like, I told you so.
Okay, so.
You didn't listen to me.
So the kids are working. Yes, you're working. You also opened up a cleaning business a little about the time you know what? That's another reason we stopped the podcast.
I got busy.
She decided after all the years of being a great mom, a great wife, great friend, of course, she wanted to do something for herself. I wanted
to start working, and I was trying this area, and then I'm like, okay, what is there? I want to make a little money. Like, I'm not trying to make minimum wage. I'm not like educated at all. I have no degree.
She's so tough on herself. She isn't educated though. She's right about that.
It's not that I'm tough on myself. This is
keeping
it real.
Different ways.
It's keeping it real. Okay. So I'm like, what do I fall back on? I've always been a stay-at-home mom, taking care of her house, taking care of her kids. I definitely don't want to do the babysitting and hanging out with kids. Like, I'm over that stuff. I love kids, but I'm over that. So I'm like, what do I, and I met some lady that had her own cleaning service and stuff. And like, she was telling me about her house and she's a single mom. I'm like, damn, you make that type of money from doing that? And she's like, yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I
can do something like that. So I started in my own
I ain't cleaning anybody's toilet.
I love cleaning. Like, to me, like,
you like the toilets though? I mean, how do you go in there? Do you
Danny,
wear a mask?
If I'm gonna keep it real, of all my clients, your poopy potty makes way more mess than my clients do.
The thing is, it's not just my ass on that.
I got the worst at home.
That's bullshit. And you know what?
Yeah.
So if we're gonna start, all right. You know what? I was waiting for this moment. I wanted to open it because I know we have to start to show up by watching what we say. You want to get personal? You start attacking my ass? Let me talk about the way you fart. You want to talk about that? How bad it smells?
And I told you I am a Zekman.
Okay.
I mean, you met my brother and he tore it up. Like, I'm the only girl of the family. You think it's going to come out roses?
Put it this way.
No, I can't. You can't have it all, Danny.
Okay. But,
I'm like,
all right, yeah.
Kind of cute and it's going to come out in other ways.
I do like to poop. I mean, a lot of guys, I'm 62 next October. So yeah, we go to the bathroom a lot. And the fact that I'm out, and I
all
clean.
I'm saying is that,
don't tell me I'm your worst client.
The toilets are not.
This is where we have a problem.
Or not the best part of it, but I just love, and I'm so good at it. And I don't like getting like the hair and makeup I have done today. Like,
you do it every day. What the hell are you talking about? Just different looks. Different looks.
But that's not me to get. I like to be physical. Like, I love taking care of
I know. You can see the bruises all over me.
So I never imagined ever doing this at all. Like, I'm like, I don't, I want to feel like a servant or something. But I found such pleasure and I feel so good about it. And I have like really great clients. And I started in my own community. We have like a community page. So I was like, hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm looking to work and this is what I want to do. And I had people come and I have like great clients now. Love all of them. I love taking care of their homes.
Not all of them. You were fired. You got terminated.
At 2:00 in the morning.
You got fired.
But that lady was like.
Once I knew her name was Florence.
She was not okay.
Yeah, once you told me her name was Florence.
Danny even told me. And he was just like his mother.
You're not going to.
As soon as I met this lady, I said, I think your mom has been reincarnated in this woman because she is your mother. Like,
yeah, you grow
You're
up.
Not going to make this lady happy. And that's okay. You move on. But,
so not everybody liked your work. But this lady was a cuckoo because she waited 5 days.
I found my own.
She said you're terminated at 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday. 5 days.
5 days later. I found dust on my mirror in the downstairs.
5 days later.
The quality of your cleaning is not good. I was like, damn.
But earlier that day, Jamie left with like all of her pottery. I love you.
She's giving me all this stuff. Here, take this. I was like, I'll give it to someone else.
It turns out that she's sick too. She's on chemo.
I don't know. She's got... Honestly, she had bad vibes in her
whole
family.
You got terminated at 2:00 in the morning. I go, you woke up to that at 2:00. I said, I told you Florence is no good. I told you she's coming
Danny
in.
told me like from day
I
one.
hear their
I'm
name.
telling you how this is because he's a Libra, so he has that sixth sense.
I'll
so
map
he
that
knows how
shit
to read
out for you.
people really well.
I know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
he
need somebody
told me,
9 out of 10 times. I can tell you the ending.
And a lot of times because I have more feelings, I feel like, than Danny.
me?
Yeah, I do. You're more like, I'm more like, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. And he's like,
you're a sucker then. You're just like, you're a sucker. That's all. A little bit. That's all. It comes down to,
We're definitely yin and yang.
But we have a 24 years of marriage almost.
24.
July 22nd.
Yes. Yeah.
24 years together. And here we are.
The odds were against
trying to, just figure out life. Our kids, still driving us crazy, but they're home and we don't want them to go nowhere.
Well, you know what I get a lot on Facebook is that Danny and I, because we've been through a lot together, and people who have followed our journey and stuff, that we're still together and like they inspire to be,
what do you mean?
like
Let's
a couple
explain
like
still
us.
Together. Let's make it clear. We've never broken. We've never had a fight that anybody left the house. The way you say still together, like,
the ups and downs.
He cheated on me and we still figured it out.
No.
Or I caught her at a strip club.
No.
Or he did this.
That I've always said is one thing.
What if
loyalty. I personally could never forgive if that. I could never be like the second.
The cheating. She told me
honestly,
right from day one that ain't happening. But then look at her. Why would I want to cheat? But there have been a lot of mitigating factors in our relationship.
There's a lot of ups and downs that people go through. That's other than. There's a lot of things that people go through that they end up breaking up because of it. They don't get enough attention. They don't get this. They don't get that. Like, jobs take people away. And I think that's what has helped us as well because we've always been like best friends and always together. And I've never gone off to do my own thing. He's never gone off. So we've never had to like imagine, what are they really doing behind my back?
We're going to start. We're talking about starting that though, right?
Well, I did say, I think I'm at the age I might become like a creepy old lady, like a pervert old lady, and like say things like that are like
your mom.
Yeah.
Like her mom.
She's my inspiration.
She's 74 years old. She's got the foulest potty. She's great.
She's not. But if she finds you good looking, you will know it as soon as she meets you. She'll be like, and she'll pull you into her. Yes. Oh, aren't you good looking? But you know what? That's where I get my confidence from because my whole life, my mom always told me, you're so beautiful. And like, teenage girls, do you have a girl? No. Okay. So the girls definitely go. And I actually know, especially with Jace, they do go through that confidence stuff or they don't have it. So when I was going through that and I'd be like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this. And my mom would always be like, yeah, well, all my friends were like super skinny when I was growing up. So I was a thick girl. So I did think I was fat.
There was only one time in your life that I would say that.
But my mom would always tell me, you're beautiful. Don't, like she would always say really nice things to me and boost my confidence.
Except for when she came to the airport in 2004 when you were pregnant and weighed 207 elbows.
Oh, yeah. She was like, where's my daughter? What happened to my daughter?
She was like looking past Jamie like, where's my daughter? I'm like,
I had this red moo-moo. But I was really upset. I was mad at my mom after the fact because after I had Jaden, I was just so big and it just was awful. And I come back home to visit and like my cousin Jolene and this one's showing me pictures that my mom's sending everyone of me looking like this with the baby. I'm like, you can't give those pictures away.
Tell her if anybody's...
I don't want them around.
If anybody's in search of gaining weight, Jamie, what was your secret of gaining weight back in the day? Not just the pregnancy weight, but...
Haagen-Dazs every day.
How many? 1 or 2 quarts?
No, I did 1 pint a day.
Yeah, in the morning.
Pint. 1 pint.
And 1 at night.
Subway, I had the 12-inch and then the 3 cookies.
She got the 12-inch.
And I was like weighing myself every day. I'm like, how is this possible? Because you know why? When I was younger, I had a very fast metabolism. I could eat anything I wanted and never gain weight. But as soon as I got pregnant,
kids are like that.
Oh my God, it was like so bad. Like
you were abusive, though.
Totally.
But we had a lot of, honestly, some of the stuff. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on.
I was pregnant alone in Florida. I was 27 years old. I didn't even have a baby shower. I didn't have my family around. It was me and Danny, and I'm pregnant. Like this food became my friend. Like this is what and food is
actually, you know what?
Soothing. Like there's some like an aphrodisiac about food.
The day you went into labor with Jaden, we went with your mom to see Shrek.
Yes.
And you know what? Fiona.
Yeah.
That's basically
that's what Fiona. I was at that time.
She was Fiona.
That's why I liked it. Yes.
So we're gonna be back next week. This is going to be a weekly thing, and I'm sure this time around you're going to enjoy the lighting, the sound.
Hopefully. I look good, Mike.
Yeah, you see, and here's another thing. Jamie's like, normally we just record our own stuff, so we're looking, and she needs to how am I looking? Is my hat straight?
I have my angles, and all my Facebook followers, because I'll do my pictures, and they're like, oh, you look great. I'm like, I got my angles. Because then if you do this, then I do look like Fiona. I'm like,
But anyway, you almost knocked down one of the new lights over there.
Listen.
But you know
I'm
what?
excited.
We really are excited, and it's been so long. But it's like nothing. We didn't skip a beat. I don't think there was something else I wanted to cover here. There was something else I wanted to say, but it evaded me. It eluded me. I should say. So we'll be back in next week or whatever we're gonna do with this thing. We'll figure it out.
Weekly.
Let's do a weekly thing. Let's do a weekly thing.
I want to thank everyone that has always liked our pages, always watched our videos, have become friends,
met
fans
people
of
that
ours,
just through the show that we never met or anything.
People who send me private messages all the time.
Yeah, mostly men.
Well,
she's like such a this guy. Remember this guy?
That's not true.
I'm like, Ralphie from Edgewater or this guy from down there. I said, Jamie, don't you know that? Hey, sexy, what do you I don't.
They don't say that. Okay. Well.
And then I have an older lady that's in her 70s. That's my friend's mother. She goes, "Who's this person hunting you down? Who's this one? What's this lady want?"
This is my territory. That's why. And I could do what I want, but he can't. So that's how that goes.
So
okay?
I'm like a litter box. You marked your territory.
Oh, yeah.
That's all
Big
good
time.
and said. But anyway, before we cut out of here, it's great to be back. Number one.
Yeah.
If you do, like I said, the heart attack thing, I just was ready. If it wasn't for her pushing me, because I did have the Widowmaker. It was the Widowmaker waiting for me. So maybe the next time.
Most men are like how you are, and
not these days. Most men are pussies now. Let's be clear.
Okay,
I'm old school.
There's still a lot that are stubborn. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, most men are stubborn, but the thing is,
we have to watch using certain words.
Bite those fingers.
Most, many, that could categorize us as saying everybody, and people will take it out of context. Because that just actually happened to me. So just saying most, many, that could be out of context.
And again, we went easy this show because based upon Mike's advice, you can keep the content limited, but we're going to start picking it up week by week, and a little bit. But anyway, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We got to keep it real, Cubs.
Whether obviously you're not watching it live, but whether you're watching it this weekend or whatever, just pour back a drink and, let us know what you think. Any advice, any suggestions, anything you want Jamie to wear, let me know, not her. Okay.
I got some ideas, Jamie.
Anyway, we'll talk to you. Have a great weekend.
Keeping it real.
Be good.